Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into a problem that I know so many of us face. What on earth do you do when your own mind just won't let you sleep? You know the feeling, right? It's 2 in the morning, you're just staring at the ceiling, and you're completely stuck. Maybe you had a tough conversation earlier, and now your brain is just replaying it over and over on this relentless loop. It's that awful, frustrating feeling when you just can't seem to hit the off switch. So let's start right there with that 2 a.m. thought spiral. It's like this mental marathon that none of us actually signed up for. So why does it even happen? Well, a really powerful way to understand this is through the spiritual concept of momentum. I want you to think of your thoughts kind of like a car rolling down a hill. At the very top, a gentle push could stop it, no problem. But once it starts picking up speed, well, it becomes this almost unstoppable force. And believe it or not, our thoughts work in the exact same way. So let's get into the mechanics behind this. We're going to look at why these thoughts gain so much momentum from both a spiritual perspective and, as you're about to see, a scientific one too. What this really means is that when you focus on one single negative thought, like, say, replaying that awkward conversation, you actually start attracting other thoughts just like it. And then another one comes along, and pretty soon you're caught in this cascade of worry, and it feels absolutely impossible to break the cycle.
And you know what's so fascinating? This isn't just some abstract spiritual idea. Modern science is actually showing us the biological reason why this thought momentum completely takes over.
So when you're stuck in that loop, a part of your brain called the default mode network, you can think of it as your brain's me story network. It becomes super overactive. It's just buzzing, replaying the past, worrying about the future. And all that activity, it triggers a flood of the stress hormone, cortisol. Then that cortisol chemically blocks the release of melatonin, which is the very hormone you need to sleep. So your brain is literally throwing a party when it should be winding down. Okay, so that leads us to the big question, right? How in the world do we apply a gentle break to this whole process? How do we slow that momentum down without getting into a huge struggle with our own minds? And this brings us to the really practical part, how to gently reset. Let's dig into the tools that we can actually use to interrupt this cycle and, finally find some peace. First, let's just be really clear about what doesn't work. Trying to force a positive thought when you're feeling awful, it's like screaming, "Be calm," at somebody who's panicking. It just doesn't work. It creates even more resistance. The real key here is to gently reach for a thought that feels just a tiny bit better, a little bit softer. So here's what that looks like in practice. You don't jump from "I can't pay my bills" all the way to "I'm a millionaire." That's too big of a jump. Instead, you gently walk your thoughts back from that very specific worry to a more general, more soothing truth. It's really all about finding a little relief, not forcing yourself to feel joy. And get this, there's a really powerful idea that if you can hold one pure, better-feeling thought for just 17 seconds, that's it. You will attract another thought just like it. That's all it takes to start shifting that momentum in a whole new, better direction. And there are some incredible tools that can help you do this. Things like guided meditation, self-hypnosis, or even just grabbing a journal and writing out your worries. These practices are scientifically shown to quiet that overactive default mode network. They help lower cortisol and shift your body into a calm, rest and digest state, which is exactly what you need to prepare for sleep. And the impact of these tools is so real and so measurable. I mean, studies have shown that practices like mindfulness meditation can seriously reduce the time it takes to fall asleep. So you see, you're not just hoping for sleep. You are biologically and strategically preparing your body for rest. Okay, so let's bring all of this together now for our final section, your invitation to peace. This is all about finding an empowering takeaway that you can use literally anytime you need it. So if there's one thing you take away from this, let it be this. You do not have to solve all of your problems at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's about giving yourself permission to just rest. It's about making one small, gentle, compassionate shift in your focus, away from panic and toward peace. And I want to leave you with this affirmation. I want you to think of it as your gentle brake pedal for tonight, or really for any time you feel that thought momentum starting to build up. It's just a simple reminder to soften, to allow, and to trust that peace is always, always available to you.
And if you want to go deeper with this and actually put it into practice, I encourage you to check out the full podcast episode, Why Your Thoughts Keep You Awake at Night. It includes a full guided appreciation meditation that will walk you through this entire reset process, step by step. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.